All right, folks, we are live to wrap up our week here this Friday morning, 10:20. Great to see all of us here live inside our live trading room. Margaret, Grant, had John just before, had Andrea, saw him a moment ago. Alex with his D-backs getting a nice win last night in baseball, up 2-1 right now. So great to see Alex. Got Dan with us here. Got Patrick with us here, who did pretty nice earlier, or yesterday, I should say, on a nice little trade that we had on the ICU. Great to have Sydney, Kevin, Brian. Where are the ladies at here, by the way? Where's Barbara, Leda, Ravina, and all of our lovely ladies of CTU here. I saw Margaret just there. There we go. From before, Margaret. There we go. Repping the ladies right now. So, hey, whether you're inside our live trading room or on social media, welcome on back. Of course, you got my ugly mug here this morning. Fausto actually on vacation, celebrating his anniversary with his lovely wife, Debbie. So wishing them the best. Hope they have a fun time with that. And, right now we have a nice little trade here for right now. LiPo, L-I-P-O. You would imagine liposuction. So we'll take a look at whatever news came out for this stock this morning, up 44 or near 44% heading into the market open. Aside from this stock, this has been a brutally slow pre-market morning. You would imagine, given what we had yesterday and even the day before, with the U.S.-China chip news that came out that tanked NVIDIA and AMD and that sector earlier in the week. Obviously, with Powell talking yesterday, with Tesla and NVIDIA. Well, NVIDIA did pretty good, by the way. But with Tesla earnings dragging down the market and a lot more, the airlines that we had between UAL and Delta and American. So there's been a lot happening this week. I think everyone's kind of been fed up with it, just overall, just up and down the roller coaster of a market that we've been on today, throughout this week. I think today people are fed up. So I hope that we get a nice bounce just for my sake here. Would love to see another, or love to see a bounce back up at least. But if we end up breaking below 425 on the SPY, which let me get to that there. We dipped under and over this morning. If we keep needling the thread here at 425 support, we're going lower. We're going right to 420, I think, perhaps early next week. So it's really kind of hinging upon this support that we have in pre-market across the market. I would love to get a bounce back up like 427, 428 perhaps. You don't want to, expect more than that per se, but if we can keep on a nice trajectory, nice trend, would love to see it at least. But otherwise, going back to LiPo, L-I-P-O, you could see early in the morning after the 8 o'clock move, stock popped up great, but then it tanked. So that was pretty common, pattern throughout this morning in pre-market. A lot of these stocks that popped early, whether it was 8 o'clock or even earlier, just pulled right back down. At least here, though, nice little bounce for the meantime. Didn't drop down to the whole number level at $2, but under and over here and starting to at least build up a little bit more. So I don't mind putting this on our watch list at least to begin. Let me just check the news out on LiPo. Well, this ain't good, folks. I don't see any news. I mean, hey, we see stocks pop all the time without news, but when there's no news out there, it doesn't really give us like much reason, and it's not a catalyst out there. So I'll reluctantly put this on our watch list just with that in mind. It has good volume on the book for right now, a bit of a spread, but you know what? For pre-market, this actually isn't too bad in terms of liquidity on the book. Just hopefully it fills in a lot more at the market open. Oh, by the way, folks, hey, you could probably see me inside the chat board right now today too. Popping the webcam up, and a little bit of a lazy Friday for myself, casual Friday, one might say, but I call it a Forno Friday, Andrea. A Forno Friday. Forno Cultura. My friend Andrea, he shipped over a nice shirt, a couple of shirts to me over the years, and repping his company, his bakery right now. So there we go. It's a Forno Friday for us here inside the live trading room. But yeah, LiPo making a nice pop back up here. Let's actually load up Bookmap. Let's load up level 4 and take a look to see what the order book looks like here all together. All right, so just now, reporting live, we had a 20,000 or at just about a 20,000 share iceberg at $2.20. So that just allowed this to push this to make a new high. Let's hope this isn't a head fake, though. Let's see this ladder this up a little bit more going into the open. But for right now, this is actually a really good sign in terms of seeing continuation for this trade. Got to see higher lows, and would love to see this order even actually pull and ladder up over time so it goes higher. All right. And you can't see that on level 3 here. So that's why it's so important to have level 4 also have Bookmap up and running as well, whether you're on the main version here or if you're on the Thinkorswim version. We have so many of us here that use Thinkorswim, and you pay the $30-$40 a month for that. What you see here is what you get basically. So it's a really powerful tool. All right. Now, I told you it's kind of a lazy Friday, right? I normally actually have the gainers and losers lists here, nice custom or traditional gainers and losers lists here. I got my custom CTU TradeStation scan here that we've had over the years, and I'm just going to rip this here because it's volume based. I could filter the volume. So instead of doing the whole kind of show and pony or that whole saying, I'd rather make it simple, keep it quick, and just go through this. Probably going to find a few stocks that are just trading good volume. We had the Wheeler trade actually here, but again, didn't go anywhere. The hope on this stock is that it's a lower float stock, much like LiPo. So, if the cards play right here, perhaps we could see this make higher lows, get the pop later on. You know what? I'll add this to our list here still. It hasn't totally corrected and tanked, made a lower low. Just very lackluster pre-market. That's all. All right. What else we got? AMWL, same deal. Just dead. This one's not doing as much. KNX, it's going to be the theme of the day, folks. I mean, with the market dropping off the way it did and has, not going to find a whole lot on the gainer side. Actually, with anything on the gainer side today, we had the crypto stocks making a pump up. Bitcoin try to make another pop up towards 30,000. And stay with me here. I'm realizing actually very poor lighting right now this morning. Got to fix that going into Monday. Checking Bitcoin price right now for all of us here live. It cracked over 30,000 just earlier this morning. Looks like a head fake. It looks like an over and under. It broke over 30,000, made a nice rounded top, and it pulled back a little bit, back down towards like 29.4. So that makes sense with Mara pulling back, Coinbase pulling back, Riot, all three of them basically there. I could put them on our list, right? It doesn't hurt us to put them on our list for right now, at least like something like Mara and Riot. If you trade options on Coinbase, that might be a bit different. But for a Friday, it's like very, very low reward for a Friday to do, calls. Just, if you're doing like next week's expiration, I guess that's different. But if you're doing the weeklies, it doesn't really make sense. All right, so let's see if there's anything looking good on the loser side here, and we'll wrap up. Oh, that's right. We got all the energy companies basically here, right? So all the solar companies, rather, I should say, SEDG, I think they ended up getting crushed off their own earnings. And with that, we had like a whole, avalanche, basically. SPWR, we had Sunrun here, a little more expensive, but ENPH, that one also. So in terms of a short, easily we could put, all of those on our watch list. Which ones are trading the most volume, though? Like, because they're all going to move fairly similar. So there's no need to call everyone under the sun. Sunrun, get it? But at least with that in mind, Sunrun 246,000, SPWR only 134. This is a little bit cheaper anyway, so a little bit more room to the ground floor in terms of a short for Sunrun. I'll add that to our watch list. The SEDG, I think that's like the main horse out of all of this, reporting the earnings and dropped off the most. So a little more expensive, but I am going to put that on our watch list also there. The EMPH side list, if you follow it on the regular, if it's one of your daily plays, then easily follow it going into the open, right? Array down a little bit there too. All right, so I'll tell you what, for a lazy Friday, for a 4-0 Friday, Andrea, not too bad of a watch list. We got a couple of cheap stocks that could pop and break out even more. A couple of good shorts on the way down. We'll see where the crypto stocks take us there at least. All right, Alex, there we go, my friend. And you know what I said? I thought I saw that headline. I thought I saw a headline. I don't want to say that one. I thought I saw a headline earlier, and I didn't pull it up just before. So Alex and Kevin both saying in our chat board, appreciate you guys, saying LIPO, news came out. They announced FDA clearance for their drug for oral lichen planus. Beastman. Well, let me ask us here really quickly. What stock this week came out with news of FDA approval? Do you folks recall? What stock this week came out with FDA approval? A lot of our students congratulating Patrick here, so might I congratulate him as well? Let me read the chat above. Oh, Patrick joining Fausto at the anniversary weekend here. It's his anniversary also today. 44 wonderful years for Patrick and his wife, so congrats, Pat. Love having you a part of CTU. And Alex and Brian both saying here, what stock was the one that came out with FDA approval earlier this week? It was the ARDX. So, we were all hopeful to see this make the breakout higher, for this to really get going over 4, try and run up towards 493. These highs, maybe even fill the gap again from the daily chart, long-term chart. If this isn't going to make higher lows and continue to break a higher high, then over time it's going to break a lower low. Lower high or higher lows could lead to a higher high, but once the fuel is run out of the gas tank, it's not as if the car just stalls out. The car just goes in reverse for you and pulls back. So with the ARDX, unfortunately, with 4 being the key level that we were all calling out, once it broke back under 4, that was a wrap. That was game over, and it pulled back that day, back on Wednesday this week, and then yesterday too. So, getting back to the LiPo trade, just be a little careful there. Don't necessarily buy the news on that. Actually, as I'm talking, let me bring back the heat map for LiPo, because it moved up a little bit, which is good. But this order did just get pulled, like right now, live. So kind of do or die here. Is it going to ladder up? Is this guy going to pop back up and squeeze it higher? Or is this the end of the show with like 8,000 shares on the offer popping up like simultaneously after? And we'll see. All right. So we got a good list here, folks. Not bad at all, actually. Let me just check private chat here from one of our students. I'll answer that just coming up in a moment, Roberto. And then otherwise from Rob on our YouTube today, asking about, oh yeah, that's right. Well, oh no, that's funny. I thought Rob was typing in UVXY, the ticker. Actually, I'll get to that actually, because with the market dropping off, ETF going up. Rob asking about ULY, my dyslexia tripping me up. LiPo looks a little bit stronger, I guess you could say, in terms of the bounce back up. You could never guarantee for a stock that pumped and dumped already to make another move back up. This just looks so ugly, given how much it did pump and dump from like 8 or 6 to 22. What the hell happened here? This was in the morning. This wasn't even in the after hours yesterday. That was in the morning at the crack of dawn. Who the hell is trading this thing? Like, it's got to be on like 0 shares, this volume, like, 900 shares, 1,000 shares a minute. Jeez. All right. Now, obviously, Rob is kind of asking about this in hopes of the order book filling in more, in hopes of more traders starting to follow it once the market does open. I'm not a fan, just because also it's a new IPO, so we can't really trust this at all just yet. Also, speaking of new IPOs, look at VSME from a couple weeks back, right? We were running that up. Beautiful morning pre-market, broke all-time highs, looking great. And then look what happened. So, there we go. Mike, call our office right there. Mike actually joined us on YouTube, and I'm actually just saying this to Mike in particular, but of course for all of us otherwise on YouTube or social media, join us inside our live trading room and call our office, Mike. Give a call to our office, talk to Alex or John or Rich, even one of our education advisors or instructors there. They'll be able to get you in the room. Mike, normally one of our students, saying he's stuck outside the CTU walls this morning. Not sure why, Mike. So we'll get you in there though, really quick. Give a call to our office. So that's like the US line right there. So you're good. Well, actually, I'll keep it up there for Michael, so he doesn't forget it. There we go. All right, so folks, hey, we're gonna wrap up right now. I will check out Benzinga actually before I do. Well, quick to finish there, perhaps, but just go to Benzinga. I figured there wasn't going to be anything else that was going to pop. There's that ULY, but that chart didn't look too great. Yeah. All right, we're gonna call it, folks. Hey, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, don't overtrade today. And it goes for all of us inside our live trading room, but you hear that enough from me on a day-to-day. For all of us on social media, if you're not joining us later on this morning, don't overtrade. It's like, it's a Friday. Normally, there's not as much out there that happens going into today, going into the weekend. But otherwise, though, after the roller coaster of a market that we've had this whole week, up and down, left and right, and especially down, I think that a lot of traders are exhausted. Maybe not us inside our live trading room. So for John, Andrea, Brian, Kennedy, Leda, all of us there right now, we're going to keep, our eyes out for the stocks that are on our watch list. And then afterwards, if there's anything that looks good, then we'll try and tackle it. But hey, really quick, for all of us there, let me ask, what time is reversal time normally? A little quiz from phase one. We always got to ask it. What time is reversal time normally? A little free game for us otherwise on social media. 10:30. Right? 10:15, 10:30 Eastern time. Just so if you feel like the momentum for a stock that you're in, that running upward at least, if you feel like that momentum's dying off and it's not even 10:15, 10:30, it's 10 o'clock, don't gamble. Do not take the money, run, go enjoy the weekend. It's one of the nicer weekend, or one of the like more nice weekends left heading into the end of this calendar year, especially if you're on the East Coast. I don't know what it's like up there in New York, but it's actually pretty cold here in Florida. It's a very chilly 67 degrees. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're trying to enjoy the nice weather, at least heading into the fall season. I think a lot of us have that in mind. Don't ruin your weekend, right? Take the money and run. All right, folks. So, hey, if you see something, say something. Let's try and make some money here at least. And we'll catch back with everyone later on today. All of us together at 2:30 Eastern. Take care.